All right. We're back. Number two. Somehow survived and made it here. We got a new setup, new mics. Sounds a little clearer. Today we're just talking about the pursuit of progress and how fun it is to listen to people ask, have you won? What are your results? How much money have you made? How many houses have you sold? And dealing with the frustration of that. Because when you're building something or becoming something different, there's going to be tons of setbacks. I mean, I know myself, like, I've shown people's houses. They were like, oh, I'm not interested. I've gone to listing appointments. I've made, numerous amounts of calls. I've failed and failed and failed some more. And then when someone asks you, like, oh, how many houses have you sold? Like, it's as easy as going buying a candy bar at the store. And I know not everyone on here is realtors, but you're definitely, I feel like most people can relate when they're working on something new, right? Something new, something challenging. You feel it. Like you feel that fear of failure. And I'm starting to learn that you're going to fail over and over and over again. But what's going to make you different is getting back up and you try it again. And you try it again and again. And that's going to be the difference between you finding success versus not. And I know it's hard, like having to hear people ask, "Oh, I guess it's not going so well, huh? I told you so. You should have just did what I was doing." And you know what? Yes, that's frustrating, but when you think about it like this, would you rather be the person failing and trying something new? Yes, you're vulnerable. Everyone can see, "Oh, this guy's doing so many things. That's so silly. Why wouldn't he just do what he's supposed to do or she?" Because we don't want to. We want to grow. We want to be different. We want to fail. Maybe we don't want to fail, but we ended up failing anyways. Nobody likes to fail, but to me, it's okay to fail, make a mistake, brush it off, and learn from that mistake and go again. And that's what we're doing here. And that's why we started this channel, me and my wife, because we feel like it's hard to find people to have honest conversations with about development, growth, because what you see most of the time on the internet or just in general, even like sometimes when you talk to people, it just seems like everything's a highlight and you're like, wow, I really suck. You're just like, this isn't good. Why is my life not going that great? And it's like, it's not that. It's that you're usually just getting the highlight reel of somebody. And that's why I found all this mindfulness, mindset, growth. I find it infectious because it rewires your brain to be like, what mistakes did you make? How many times did you fail? That's amazing. You must really be trying to change instead of just measuring results and looking at photos of success, success, success. That's great. If you can find success, it's amazing. But usually behind success, I found with most people I've talked to, there is so much work that goes behind it. I mean, there are people that grind for years and you just see the end result. And when you have a certain thinking, you're like, wow, that must be nice. I wish that was me. And something I've been reading and I found so powerful is that your body, your brain doesn't know the difference. When you say something positive, like, I can do that, or have intelligent thoughts of, this is something that's me, they know that, but they also know if you say, that's just not me, I can't do that, I'm not meant to live that life. And that happened to me. And I didn't even realize it until I got to this point of reframing my mind. And it just hit me so hard. I was like, whoa, I did that. Like, I remember I was in an email chain with a friend. And when I started real estate, and the first email he wrote, and never mind you, this guy, he's successful. And I'm not going to name his name or anything. He's just someone that has found success in life. But right out the gate, he's like, how can we get Seth to make 500K in real estate? And honestly, I read that and I'm like, this is nuts. Like, that is not happening. Like, immediately, I didn't even like give it a thought. And in the moment, I didn't even realize it. I just thought it was like an outlandish thing. But now, fast track 6, 7 months later, I was in a meeting with my broker and he was like, how many of you have limiting thoughts? And I was like, I feel like I'm pretty open and I feel like I'm pretty, you know, progressive when it comes to thinking. Like, I believe a lot of people can do things that they don't think. And he goes, raise your hand if you think you can make 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand. And he keeps going all the way to a million. And I kind of stopped at like 5 or 6. And he's like, why did you stop at the number that you stopped at? And I'm like, I don't know. I think it's reasonable. And it's like, he's like, but why can't you be that person that makes this amount of money? What's holding you back? And then he's like, it's you. It's like, you are the limiting factor. If you self limit, you're not going to get anywhere beyond what your thoughts are. And again, I know it's easier said than done. Like, if you think, I'm going to have $1 million, it's not going to just appear. That's not the idea. And I think that's sometimes how manifestation itself kind of gets lost, is people think that if you wish it and you dream it, it's going to happen. And that's not really the deep rooted manifestation that I've come to know in a reading Manifestation of Creation. It talks about how that's just the beginning. You change your thoughts, then you change your behaviors, and then you repeat those behaviors. Because in the moment of repeating those behaviors, there's going to become an instant where you want to go back to the old ways. You want to go back to being like, that's not me. I can't do that. That's too much. And you have to consciously fight that feeling and replace it with something of substance to get the body to believe. So while you're in the process of thinking these things, believing these things, you have to have some kind of positive consequence or some kind of benefit in that thought. And that comes from the work, the change of habits, the procedures you've put in place for yourself. And that's where I think manifestation doesn't work for a lot of people. And even where I myself in the past found that, like, like where you stick something up on the wall and oh, that's going to happen. And I found that far fetched. But now I get what it is. That's just the beginning, is just to start to change the thinking. Then it becomes physical. You have to actually behave in the way that you're saying and speaking, to the point where your body's like, this is us now. This is what we do, right? We are this person. We are going to get up. We are going to do all these things. And that's just who we are now. And the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit and the more it becomes you. And that's what I'm starting to realize. It's like, yes, am I selling 10 houses a month? No. But am I getting better? Yes. Right? I'm making more phone calls. Those no's are turning to yes. I'm having more conversations. I'm becoming more efficient in the real estate realm. And that wouldn't happen by me waiting for something to happen or just being like, oh, this isn't me. It's just fail, reflect, fail, reflect. What did I do wrong? How can I be better? Oh, I don't have this information. Who can I go to? And this is something new that's so powerful to me. And I mean, it's not that new if you think about it, but it's something that we need to be reminded of, is proximity to people that are doing what you want to do. If you want to be that person that finds success, gives back, whatever it is you want in your life, and you surround yourself with people that are doing less than you, or complaining, don't have the same mindset that you're trying to find, I don't think you're ever going to reach those goals, right? You're just not. Like, you're not going to make it, because who you surround yourself with is probably the most important thing. And that's why this channel became so important for Lauren and I, is having impactful conversations with people that are of the same mindset. You all are going to grow together. You are. Like, if you're thinking about improvement and you're seeking growth every day from the smallest step, you're going to get better. and the people around you are going to get better because you guys are all going to be thinking, what could we do? How can we get better? And then you add value. And that's really where money comes from, right? Is instead of chasing dollars and things like that, our goal is to become more skillful, increase our value, right? The more value you have and the more you have skills that other people don't, money comes, right? But I think sometimes we get stuck in chasing the dollar, chasing, if I work more, I work more, I work more, I'm going to get more. And that's not how it is. Because if you're working and working and working until you're so exhausted, you're not acquiring new skills. And obviously, everyone's in different situations. You got to feed your kids, you have to support your life. And maybe you're in a place right now where you're just in debt, right? But there's got to be some small moment in time, some piece of time you can find where you're spending it on a useless thing, right? Maybe it's TV, maybe it's scrolling on your phone. And I'll tell you, I guarantee 99% of people spend way too much time on their phone, and I'm guilty of it. The amount of time you just sit there scrolling away, that could be a skill, another language, a book, you know, that could be your opportunity for that advancement at work, in life. You could be joining a community aspect. Like, there is so much time wasted and so many connections lost by having a screen in front of your face, and it destroys your mindset, right? You become a robot of just consume, consume, consume. When really, I believe, and what I've found is that the ultimate, like, life changing opportunity is to be able to give, right? Is to be able to give back to people and show that you've made it and now you're giving back, just like you might have been given at one point in time. And in order to give, you have to require so much skill and so much success that you're at a point in life where you can just give back, and you don't need it as much for yourself. And that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to be in such a place of security that you can now start supporting others around you. You can give back. You can take care of those who are in positions where there's nothing. They're at zero, they're at bottom. And all of us have been there at one point or another. Obviously, some more than others, right? Some people have, deficits and obstacles that some of us will never comprehend. But that's why it's so important to position yourself, especially when you are fortunate and you have the time to be better and give back. You can help someone maybe take that first step, right? But they're so deep in the mud, they're so stuck that they do need a hand. And that's okay. Like, I truly believe that if you go it alone, you're not going to go as far as you would with someone else, right? We have to work together. And I think the phones sometimes take that away. We lose connection, we lose conversation, we lose meaning. And in seeking growth, I've gone back to like simple things. I found the joy in having a conversation with someone that maybe I don't agree with. But when you speak in a way that you don't allow yourself to be triggered or upset by what they're saying, because it's not personal, right? This is just the nature of who they are. They truly believe this is what's right. And our job isn't to change their thinking, it's to be present, show peace, show calm, and just be there. Like, the more we can be there for each other and listen, I think we're going to have so much success with each other in the world. Like, I think many times that we're all arguing or fighting or just thinking that, you know, they don't get it, or I got this way, or they don't understand how I feel. When honestly, I just think if we had more conversations, we realize we're all a lot more similar than you think. We've all had adversities. We all have stress, anxieties. We like to feel validated. Everyone wants to feel significant. And I think that's sometimes why those emotions get so big, is they want to be seen and heard in a world where everyone's distracted, right? the screens, the news. I think we've lost the importance of face to face conversation. And even myself, I'm always on my phone. And I watched a video recently where these two guys are holding a string and he's asking him a meaningful question. And as soon as he goes to respond, he takes his phone up and the string drops. And he keeps showing him that every time he tries, he's like, oh no, hold it again. And then he goes to look at the phone and then it drops. And it's showing you that even the smallest, just looking, it devalues what that person is saying. It shows them that that's not important to them. And then you never know what that could have been. That small thing could have been something that they've been waiting to tell you for months, especially as you get older in like your 30s. Like we don't always have all the time to hang out with friends anymore. People are starting families, people are working, they're so to have that moment with a friend, like go out for a drink, have lunch, be present because it's today. Like you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow. And God forbid you lose that person. You're going to wish back for that one lunch. And that's something that I've really started to consciously think about is putting the phone down, be present for my friends, my family, and just try to be better. Because I think we all can be better. And one thing that I found myself doing more and more is reflecting. I reflect on what mistakes I've made, on what opportunities I might have, and who I could hurt, right? Like being more conscious of how the words I use could hurt someone and the way I respond to people also can affect their day, even though it shouldn't, right? Like, I talk a lot about being in control of your mind and the meaning of people and that you're the ultimate control of you, right? But you also have the power to motivate, impression on someone, you know, make someone's day, ask him a question, like a meaningful question. Sometimes it's like, how are you? I'm good. I'm fine. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, if you're truly listening to someone, you could be like, how's that new job going? Oh, that's great. Oh, how are your kids? Did they enjoy themselves? Like, what are they doing? Like, purposeful questions that show someone like, wow, this person cares, right? And if you listen, and like something I do for myself is I try to ask three questions. Simple. I ask three questions of someone before I speak, right? And I think it's good, especially for people that have a hard time listening. I think if you put a number on it, like, all right, I'm going to ask three questions before I speak, then you'll find yourself having more meaningful conversations and more value. And you might learn something about someone that you might not otherwise. And you just might make someone's day that much brighter because maybe they were having the worst day. I remember like, and it's not to my own horn, but I was just in a good mood and I was training, I trained jujitsu. And I just said, I just noticed, and I usually don't say this, like, in jujitsu, you just roll, it's whatever. But this guy, he's a quiet type. And before the end of class, I was like, you know what? You've gotten a lot better, man. I can tell you've been practicing this. Nothing crazy. I was just like something just like validating what he's been working on. And I'll never forget this, but like at the end of practice, right, where everyone's showered up, he comes up to me and he goes, and it might have even been the next day. He's like, Seth, I was having a hard day. And what you said really, turned it around for me. I really appreciate that. Today was hard. And I was taken back. I was like, you know, and I think we take for granted, like sometimes people just want to be heard or validated, and it doesn't take much. And it's something I'm working on. Like, I'll tell you, I'm one of the worst. I talk way too much. Obviously, now you see I got a podcast. I'm talking more. But again, this is not a movie production. I'm not filming this to like go famous or something. It's just to give conversations for regular people. Like, you can comment below whatever you want. And like, I don't think this is ever going to be anything, but I think the more we can have honest conversations with each other, the more we can come together and do great things. And And I'm just excited. I really am. I'm excited for how much this is going to change for me, for my wife, for the people around me. It's infectious. If you if you truly start to consciously change your movements, your habits, what you do every day, you're going to see such an impact. Like you start thinking in intelligent ways and not having a scarcity mindset, thinking in abundance. Like, how can I be better? Look how lucky I am to wake up today and have breakfast. Look how lucky I am that I'm healthy. You start to have this abundance mindset, not positive. You can be fake positive, right? You can just fake it until you make it, but that's not true. You know it's not true and you're not going to believe it. You have to think about things you are actually grateful for and be in the moment. That's why I close my eyes and I visual myself in that moment in time. I'm not faking it. I am truly trying to feel that feeling when I was physically there. It's that idea of watching a roller coaster versus being on a roller coaster. And you're not going to get the same feeling watching it. You got to be on it so you can feel the ups, the downs, joy, right? When you start to program your brain for those mindful, impactful conversations and take your day serious and stop scrolling, stop wasting your thoughts on negative scarcity things that are only hurting yourself because your brain doesn't know the difference. So why not tell yourself wonderful things or things that you want to do and you can do? I haven't done it yet. Not I can. Not that's not me. It's that's going to be me. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to get there. And that all starts from the simple habit of doing something every day, making a conscious decision to choose, yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, I'm in a good mindset. Yes, I am going to be that person. I think anybody can do it. But anyway, that wraps it up. That was a little too much. Me and my wife will be on later to talk about more impactful things. This was really just to test out the new setup, and this took forever. The dogs were all over the place. I had to put a bed behind me. It got crazy. like, I'm just happy to film something. Like, this is 22 minutes long. It didn't go as I wanted. I hope somebody got something out of it. But thanks again for watching, whatever 2 followers are watching this.